Welcome to Kiss the Reviews. I'm Armando. That's Corey.
I'm here. Hello.
And
Hey, you guys.
today we're doing 1982's Creepshow. This was requested by Steph and a bunch of others on Patreon. And before we get into the cast and get into this review, if you want to follow us on social media, you can follow us at Kiss the Reviews on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. And if you want to follow us on Patreon, just look for us on the Patreon app or the website at Kiss the Reviews. Subscription started $2. Right? Yes.
Pictures of me going.
Yeah. Oh no, 100%. 100%.
Maybe so, facing.
The subscription started $2. We have a few different tiers. You get a whole bunch of stuff as the tiers go up, including some movie watches with me and Corey, some free merch. There's all kinds of stuff on there. Go to Patreon, check it out. The link's below.
Here's what's cool about the movie watches too. During our live movie watch every month, we give away other shit. Like some cool horror movie posters. We got horror movie masks. Like, I don't know. Let me just grab this guy real quick. He's wearing a dope-ass hat right now, but this dude is a fun horror movie mask and very popular right now. So he's in the giveaway. Like, there's all sorts of reasons to join that premium membership, mainly because we're spending 99% of that money to give away shit back to you. So Patreon's the spot, yo.
Yep, absolutely. And with that said, let's get into the cast of 1982's Creepshow. This film stars, strap in for this, folks, Hal Holbrook as Henry Northrup, Leslie Nielsen as Richard Vickers, Adrienne Barbeau as Wilma Northrup, Tom Atkins as Stan, Stephen King as Jordy Verrill, Ted Danson as Harry, and E.G. Marshall as Upson Pratt.
A couple quick comments on the cast. One, I think Ed Harris was born 36.
I didn't even realize Ed Harris was in that.
Yeah, he's like in the first story, right? He's in Cake Day or Father's Day or whatever the shit.
He's in Garbage Day.
Happy Cake Day.
It's Father's Day. Where's my cake?
Two, Tom Atkins was born to play a drunk in every movie.
Yeah.
He just has the look. He has the look for it.
Drunk dad, drunk cop, drunk doctor cop. You know, whatever.
Doctor/cop, whatever you want him to be, he'll be it as long as he can be a drunk as well, because that's what he went to school for. Drunk acting.
Absolutely. That's right.
And it's superb. Right. And finally, my guess is for people who have a MILF fetish.
Oh, just call me Billy. Everyone does.
Adrienne Barbeau has got to be one of the top 10 all time.
Yeah. I would agree with that.
Because I know you like them. I know you like a little trashy, and I know you like a big fat white titty.
I do like them a little trashy. You gotta bring a little bit of trash.
Hell yes.
But let's jump into this, man. So this whole thing, if you haven't seen it before, where have you been? This opens in a middle-class home where the drunk dad is yelling and smacking the shit out of his son for reading the Creepshow comic. He continues his verbal abuse with his wife. And then a wind brings the comic out of the garbage can because he threw it away. And the 5 stories within come to life. They spring to life.
Corey's life lessons.
Hi, dads out there, Uncle Corey. This is how you get a fucking house under control. Handle your business, dog.
That's why God made fathers.
Tom Atkins goes hard in the paint and in the intro to this movie. He goes super hard in the paint. It's fantastic.
He slapped that kid like it was Chris Rock.
That kid, I've heard in movies where like the actor's like, no, hit me for real. Like we need to make this scene real. I don't think the kid said it, but I think Tom Atkins did it.
You were correct.
I pictured this kid being like the little girl in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, where after the kid got the shit slapped out of him, he's like, that was the best acting I've ever seen. Just fucking handprint all over his face. He got marked up.
Oh yeah, this kid had CTE for sure after the filming, because the director was like, "We'll do one more take, guys."
That's all he could take. The parents were like, "Yeah, but $5,000 more."
Yes, exactly. I mean, that's what I would have said. But the first story is Father's Day. So this story is about a rich family waiting for Bedelia to arrive. And apparently Bedelia killed her abusive father after he was screaming for his goddamn cake on Father's Day. And Bedelia visits her dad's grave on the property, and he comes out of the grave. He wants his goddamn cake. He kills Bedelia, and then he terrorizes and kills the rest of this family while still bitching about his cake. Listen, I used to be a real fat guy, okay? And believe me, I didn't get there without some goddamn cake. But I don't like cake that much. What are we doing here? And
I'll tell you what, we're trying to get some goddamn respect from another father trying to get control over his house. And guess what? Spoiler alert, by the end of it, he does.
He does. He does get control. He does get control of the house. And I'll say this. Cake on Father's Day? Is that what we're doing? Just give me my, my gifts of like underwear and like undershirts or whatever the fuck, a little tie or whatever you give your dad for Father's Day. And let's move on with our day. I don't think we've ever really celebrated Father's Day like that.
Well, you should if you want the respect of your family. What I don't understand
I don't have that.
In the flat, like she has the cake made. And then she's just like, more icing. And then she walks out and kills. Just give him the goddamn cake, lady.
That's all he wanted was the cake.
You could kill him after that, and he's not going to come back because he ate his cake.
You were right.
By the way, this fucking Civil War vet is probably going to die from his diabetes like 20 fucking seconds after he eats that fucking iced out cake. Like,
Absolutely.
Just feed him the cake and watch him die.
So, you got diabetes.
There's two things that I noticed in this first story. One, Ed Harris, in 82, did they have lighters? Because this dude is just striking matches like a champ. And you could tell Ed Harris was an actual smoker by the way he struck the matches. It was like the coolest thing ever.
Oh, yeah.
What wasn't the coolest thing ever? It was 82. Was disco still a thing? What was the dancing? You want to talk about white people dancing? That shit they were doing there. They all deserved to die just for the dancing they were doing in that scene.
FYI, if you invite me to a wedding reception, that's what you get.
I like it, and you're not invited.
Damn it, never. Yeah, if I struck a match as cool as he did, I wouldn't use lighters either.
I mean, it's fair.
Like, I strike a match and I'm like, goddamn wind, and I'm like trying to protect myself, and I light my sleeve on fire, the cigarette would fall out. It was a mess. It's people like me that need lighters. And even that, like, you get a Zippo and you're like, I'll strike it cool and light it. No, fuck no, I just ripped a hole in my pants because I forgot I wasn't wearing jeans.
I got a big Zippo burn in the side of my dress pants.
Yeah, I'm starting to realize through this show that I'm just bad at things.
Yeah. Overall, I would agree with that.
Yep. That's why I just sit in this room.
But we have story 2. Story 2 is the lonesome death of Jordy Verrill. And Jordy, he's this dumb hillbilly. He sees a meteor fall out of the sky. This is kind of like the setup for Joe Dirt, except it's not a giant turd at the end. But he sees this.
It's almost
meteor.
as funny as Joe Dirt, though.
Yes. So he sees this meteor fall out of the sky, and he immediately starts fucking with it. He was like, dude, it's a meteor. I'm going to start fucking with it. He pours water on it. It splits in half. He dumps the meteor juice on the ground, takes the meteor in the house. He's like having dreams of like turning in the meteor and getting $100, $200.
But only if it wasn't broken. If it was broken, you're a big dumb idiot, Jordy.
This actually makes me like the fact that Stephen King did this. Makes me like him even more. But so later, everything the meteor touched, it's covered in green plant life. At night, or as the night progresses, Jordy and everything on his farm becomes covered in this green mossy shit.
Oh, no. He basically turns into Hodor through the rest of this, because no is all he can say.
No.
All I kept thinking about was him, like, because he wakes up in the morning, he's all covered in the green moss, and it takes the shotgun out and blammo. It's garbage day for his head. And all I kept thinking about was like, I know Corey wouldn't. Like, Corey would be like lighting his arm on fire and trying to smoke it.
Fuck yeah. I'd be grinding my arm up, rolling me. Even if that fucking plant isn't going to get high, you know my blood type is pretty much indica at this point.
Oh, absolutely.
So it's like, let's rock and roll. Let's just smoke my ashes and send me off.
If Corey woke up in the morning, he's just covered to head to toe. He'd be like, dude, I wonder what the street value of me is. That's Corey's first question. But this story ends as you hear like the old timey radio, like, oh, there's going to be a lot of rainfall. It's going to be green grass growing. And it's like, oh, the moss is going to take over the world.
Oh,
or whatever.
Shit. The one little Easter egg I liked here was the mileage sign just outside of town that showed Castle Rock was 5 minutes away.
Yep.
Which is big in a lot of his stories. If it's not in Derry, it's usually in Castle Rock.
Yes, sir.
So neat.
No, that's
moving on.
That's cool stuff. Moving on. Story 3 is something to tide you over. And we basically have Leslie Nielsen playing an asshole in this one. So, but I think he's kind of in the right. So Harry has been having an affair with Richard's wife, Leslie Nielsen's wife, Becky. And Richard comes over to confront him. Richard plays him a cassette of Becky's voice begging Harry to help. And Harry drives with Richard to the secluded beach where apparently Richard has this beach house. Richard forces him at gunpoint to climb into this hole that he had dug on the beach. And he buries Harry up to his neck. And Richard hooks up the TV, turns it on, and like Becky's on like another part of the beach and she's buried to her neck so they can like watch each other drown.
This is a hard pass. And I think this is a good lesson for everybody to learn here.
Corey's life lessons.
Hi, everybody being forced to jump into a hole that they're going to get buried into their neck in a beach by gunpoint. With all of that, Ted Danson here says, shoot me. Right? I'm not going to let you just do this to me, bury me alive. You got to shoot me. He's like, no, I just want to incapacitate you. Then fucking shoot me, because I'm not doing this. No. And it's not the drowning I'm afraid of. I don't like the sand fleas. I would feel that biting all over me, and I would lose my goddamn mind. Which leads me to my next point. Be afraid of things like I am, and you'd pop right out of that sand like a fucking firecracker.
You are correct.
And
it's no fucking sand flea death for me.
No. Not at all. You got sand flea, you got crabs. There's all kinds of stuff like in there. Nah, not for me. Not for me. And to be perfectly honest, Ted Danson's like half Leslie Nielsen's age. Or they could be the same age. I don't know. Leslie Nielsen has had white hair since he was 22.
He's timeless. There's so many scenes in this where I just, especially when they come back here, you know, because Leslie Nielsen goes home and he jerks off watching his tapes, and he's like, I got to take a shower because I nutted all over my belly. So he goes to take a shower and he's hearing all the noises. And they come back, but there are so many times like when they're like, "Oh, we're gonna get you," and they grab him, and he's like, "Whoa!" I just expected him to go naked gun and fart.
You'd like to see it?
There's so many weird silences and facial expressions Leslie Nielsen makes where I'm just like, insert fart sounds, because that's what should be there.
Now, watching Leslie Nielsen in a serious role now is like it's funny to me, even though his role isn't funny.
Yeah.
I found myself laughing the whole time.
It's like, it's no offense to him, because I know he was a very serious actor up until the Naked Gun stuff started.
Yep.
But damn, at the same time, dude, you are Frank Drebin until you die. Well,
absolutely.
Until the day you did die.
Yeah.
Is he dead? He's got to be dead.
I have no idea.
He's probably 22. He's a vampire.
Is it possible this story is true? Yes, it is.
So, and this one ends because, you know, the two lovers die. They come back to life. As Corey said, Richard gets out of the shower because he has to clean himself off because he got a little too excited earlier. And they chase him. They're all like covered in seaweed and they're zombies and shit. They chase him through the house. And then they take him out to the beach and they bury him to his neck to see if he can hold his breath. And you know what? He's very adamant that he can hold his breath for a long time.
I can hold my breath for a long time.
Yeah, I don't understand. Like,
okay. My favorite story, and this is the one when I was a kid, this is the one that freaked me out, was The Crate, the fourth story. This has all of my favorite things in it. Like, everything's campy, you know, and then we get to this one and I'm like, no, man, this one still hits. I really like this story.
I like this
one. Yeah, so the crate opens with this janitor finding this old crate under the stairs by a laboratory on a college campus. He calls Professor Dexter Stanley, who's at this stuffy academia cocktail party.
Why, yes, I am Professor Dexter Stanley.
And it's stuffy, except for Wilma.
Oh, just call me Billy. Everyone does.
Who is basically just a drunk, belligerent asshole who verbally abuses her husband, Henry.
Loud, drunk, belligerent asshole.
What's the matter with you two? You're not drinking? You just come on with me. Henry, you stay here till I get back. Jesus.
I have an appreciation now for everybody around me when I get drunk, because I know I'm loud, but now I'm like, oh, God. Like, I just had a come to Jesus moment watching this today.
Being loud is one thing. Being loud and abusive, because she's abusive. And I'll be honest, going back to our point from earlier, little trashy, this kind of turned me on.
Oh, yeah. She, like, I could see you wanting to just shower her in, like, chicken McNuggets or whatever white trash people are into. Like, this was more of a hate fuck scenario for me.
Yeah.
Because, look, she is hit in any man's league. She is classic 70s, 80s, hot AF.
Yeah.
Just oozing sex appeal no matter what she does. But at the same time, fuck, was I so happy when she got killed.
Yes, dude. I'd feed her, I don't know. I'm trying to think of what white trash people eat, like potato soup and butter sandwiches.
Mustard sandwiches and macaroni salad from a gas station.
That's what I figured.
That's why this is my favorite story, though, because we're killing a belligerent asshole wife
Yes.
who was also a white woman.
Yes.
So it's
Exactly.
like double score.
This is like your history.
Yeah. It's almost like a Tyler Perry movie. Except for everybody's white.
But this, and so a couple of issues here with Billy or Wilma. My first issue obviously is the trashing. She's a little too trashy, a little too abusive. Like it's but she drinks whiskey and milk. I didn't know this was a fucking thing.
It shouldn't be.
It definitely shouldn't be. But I was like, that's weird. Why is she getting the milk out of the fridge? Oh, she's pouring whiskey in it. That's fucking gross. Now, that's white trash.
You were correct.
Dex here goes to the lab because the janitor calls him. So they open the crate, they find this giant gorilla monster thing who eats the janitor. Dex tries to tell a grad student about the monster. He doesn't believe, so the monster eats him too. Dex finally goes to Henry's house, tells him everything, and Henry drugs Dex so he can use this whole. He was like, "There's a gorilla monster thing? Dope. Here's some fucking sleepy go bye-bye juice, Dex. I'm going to use this to get rid of my wife."
Hell yes.
He comes up with this plan in about 13 seconds. And it's all taking the word of his friend going, "Hey man, a gorilla monster just killed 2 people. It's hiding under the stairs back at the laboratory." Like, are you out of your fucking mind? If you called me and said that, I'd be like, dude, like, I know you don't want to say it over the phone, but if you killed people, let's figure out how to get you out of this, because gorilla monster isn't going to work. Man, bear, pig, not happening. We got to come up with a real story.
It's not holding up in court at all. No, he immediately believes him and then goes, "Okay, how can I use gorilla monster thing to my advantage? I could kill my wife."
And believe me, I understand fantasizing about your wife, but concocting an entire scheme and cleaning up all the blood that fucking has been spilled.
Yeah. Oh, this is a lot of work.
Next level shit.
Yeah. So he drafts this letter, leaves it for Wilma, who is drinking her whiskey and milk, and basically says that, like, "Oh, Dex had this thing with a female student, and you're really good at this, so why don't you come and help? We're at the laboratory." So she gets there. He's got everything cleaned up. He bleached the whole fucking place. First of all, that whole basement has got to smell to high hell of bleach. Like, and if I'm Wilma, I'm like, first of all, something's really weird. You're in the basement. It smells like bleach is fucked out here.
Wilma's too drunk to have any kind of reason. Not to mention, she's willingly being an accomplice in getting a rape victim out of there as quietly as possible and basically telling her to shut the fuck up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Amazing. Which also, if I can, real quick, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
This goes on to show the further brilliance, because if this plan goes tits up and Billy doesn't die here, he's framed his boss for a brutal rape and he's going to get his job soon.
Yes.
It's a win-win.
No, it's definitely a win-win. But my favorite part is that he has Billy come downstairs. He's like, hey, he puts the crate with gorilla monster thing, which apparently is sleeping because it's had its fill of flesh for a little bit. So he puts it back. He shuts the lid on it. And he's like, "Oh, the girl curled up back there. Go back there, Billy. Go get her. There's a box under there. There's no person." Billy's still crawling under. She's like, "What are you doing? You're such a piece of shit. Your dick doesn't work." Whoa, lady. She goes all the way. She goes into 5th gear here and is like, "You thought I was a bitch before? I think you're trying to kill me. I'm going to be two times the bitch."
In fairness to Billy, he is kind of a little bit of a simp because he just starts going,
"Oh, yeah.
wake up! And he's bashing her head against this crate, and it stops, and she goes, well, that was dumb. Like, she's totally fine.
But like,
take it from somebody that knows. It doesn't take much when you're bashing a woman's head into a crate to get him a little fucking loopy. So try harder, Professor Dick and Balls.
And after he tries to feed Wilma to the monster and the monster doesn't come out, he finally comes out of the crate because Wilma starts running her mouth, and even the gorilla monster hates her. And it was like, I wasn't going to eat you until you started like running your mouth like an asshole. And here you go. You're in the crate. We're done.
That's what you get for being a Karen.
That's it.
I literally, like, I know I'm probably supposed to be like, oh, Billy. I wasn't. I was like, see ya.
I wasn't either. And the last story I remember. So the fifth story I remember.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like it as a kid. It was just weird to me.
Yep.
Still incredibly weird. But
yeah.
Upson Pratt is like this really neurotic businessman who lives in basically a sterile white penthouse apartment that looks like an Apple store. And he gets a call from George, who tells him that the owner of this company, Norman Katzenmoyer, he just took over. He shot himself because of the takeover. Pratt doesn't give two shits. He seems super happy that a company that he took over, the dude killed himself. And all of a sudden, he just starts finding cockroaches all over the place. And not for nothing, cockroaches are disgusting. But
yeah,
it's one here, it's one there. He gets a call from Katzenmoyer's widow, who apparently wishes death on him. And I don't know if this is alluding to, like, she was the one that sent the fucking cockroaches to his house, or this is just him getting his just desserts because he's an asshole. But well, basically,
that's my question, I guess, here is, why didn't they, like, I understood you borrowed the set from 2001, and that's really cool. And he's got, vacuums right next to his thing, to his trash, and he's a germaphobe and all this stuff. Super duper. Also, you could have spent 5 minutes showing us, I don't know, a witch's spell or some hoodoo being done or something. Literally anything to give us some context other than, I don't like bugs. And hearing this old fuck scream bugs for the next, I don't even know how long it lasted. This was one of the most pointless stories. It did not need to be in here.
No, it really didn't. This one kind of was a letdown, especially for the last story. The crate should have been the last story.
Yeah.
This one was, but the bugs continue to take over, and there's all kinds of cockroaches all over the place. And Pratt goes into like his glass sleep chamber, and
he dabbles in some light racism. He keeps up with his sociopath attitude, with everybody trying to get the bugs out of his place, but they just keep multiplying. And again,
that's it. Just
rich people suck. Yeah,
we're on board.
Yeah, we've lived through it.
The only decent thing about this one was the ending scene when like the superintendent guy's like banging on the door and the bugs all like burst out of his chest, and even that was obviously chintzy because it was 82. The practical effects really
looked
there.
Cool.
But it looked cool though. But that was it. And the movie ends by revisiting the family from the beginning and Tom Atkins abusing his family some more. But two garbage men find the Creepshow comic book, and they notice that someone clipped out a mail-in coupon for a voodoo doll. Cut to Billy, Tom Atkins' boy, stabbing the shit out of the voodoo doll and killing his dad for throwing away his comic book. Because fuck you, Dad.
Fuck yeah. Fuck you.
That's how that one.
You already said it. I don't.
Yeah. nostalgia tells me I like this movie.
Mhm.
And for the most part, I did. Uh, I'm not a really big fan of like the shorts of it all.
Mhm.
Um, but I think these were very well written. I just didn't like the last one was just kind of a letdown for me, and I just went, "Aw." I think this is when I got up and got something to drink and kind of piddled.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of this one. I think the second one is way better. I think Tales from the Dark Side is way better. I think Tales from the
Yes.
Crypts were way better.
Yep.
Both in TV show and series. Twilight Zone was better. I don't mind the shorts. I really don't. Alfred Hitchcock Presents was kind of a mainstay in my house, so seeing shit
Yeah.
like this in the Twilight Zone,
Yeah.
that stuff's I'm fine with that. And my attention span anymore. Just give me a short, because if I don't like it, I know I'll at least stick with it just to get to the next story.
Yeah.
Whereas if I don't like a movie after 20 minutes, I'm just like, fuck this. Like, I don't need to be fucking preached to today. I'm good. So in that regard, I'm just like, the campiness, I just throw that out for all these movies, 70s, 80s.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
what you're
yeah,
going
yeah.
to get. It's just
Yep.
kind of like the 90s have their tropes, the 80s have theirs, et cetera, et cetera. Plus, you add on to that the fact that it's a Stephen King production. And that typically, I don't give a shit if he's not my favorite screenwriter. I'll leave it at that.
No, he's an incredible book writer, author.
Mm-hmm.
Screenwriting, not a strong suit.
No.
But I'll watch him play a dumb hillbilly any day of the week, though.
Oh, yeah.
I'll give
Look,
that.
his ability to make fun of himself and have fun and really not even take his own stories too seriously is
Yeah.
one of the best things about him, and what, really makes Stephen King movies tolerable.
Yeah.
That being said, yeah, it was good for what it was. I thought the only story that I thought was even remotely interesting was the gorilla ape man bear pig. The other ones were fine. It just wasn't as interesting
Yeah.
to me.
No,
The
you're
Leslie
right.
Nielsen was good just because that was fun, seeing Leslie Nielsen and Ted Danson and
Yeah.
that kind of thing. Same thing with like Ed Harris. I enjoyed seeing Ed Harris, but after 2 minutes, it's like, all right, bye, Ed. Thanks for the dance
Yeah.
scene.
Yeah,
Moving on. I can see why you
we-
never danced again in film.
We got it. Cake. Cool.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you.
No, you're right though. The Leslie Nielsen one and then the Crate one. The Crate one just it had a lot of good actors in it.
Mhm.
And the plot was good. It was a little bit more scary. So it kept my attention a little bit more. The other ones were just kind of like either weird or creepy a little bit, but like not scary.
Exactly.
But anyway, that's all I got. I still like this one, and I can, if it's on, I'll watch it. I'm not seeking it out, but I
Mhm.
still dig this. I still dig this one to this day. And
Mhm.
again, it's because I watched it, I think, when I was 5. So that works. But you got
Love
anything else for this one?
I'll leave you with a fun fact. The
All right.
old dad, the dead dad in Cake Day, that
Yep.
was actually Leslie Nielsen with no makeup on.
I love it. Well, for Corey, I'm Armando. This is Kiss the Reviews, and this was 1982's Creepshow.